Hello and welcome back with me, Admo. Joining me back on Star Trek Fleet Command as always. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the channel recently and supported the channel. I can't thank you enough. Once again, just a quick reminder, this will be now my last video now before I do go away for potentially some time. If you haven't already, then check out the link below where my Discord is. I will be posting on the Discord when I will be returning to doing content and streaming. So if you're not already, then head over to Discord and find out there. So this video today is going to be about the current state of the game and where I think it could potentially develop or grow into, and obviously some of the things in the game now that have changed over the past 18 months, pretty much that I've been playing the game. I know a few other people have done content like this in over the last couple of weeks, so I thought I'd give my little spin on it, just because I know a lot of people have been asking for me to do certain spins on topics that other content creators are also doing. So this is basically the first of hopefully many to come for the foreseeable future. So let's crack on. The current state of the game is in, I would personally say, in a sort of a rating out of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely awful, 10 being obviously amazing, nothing needs to change. I would rate the game at the moment at about a 6.5, roughly, probably about a 6.5. The reason I rate it in that sort of region, just to give you a sort of a perspective, is the fact that the game is actually in a very good position in terms of the content that's in it. However, as everyone knows, everyone's burdened by the same sort of plagues, so to say, which are obviously the bugs that potentially crop up all the time, and obviously the certain game issues that just come inherently with a game like this, which is just boredom. Because doing the same thing over and over again, doing the same grinds over and over again, you just inherently get bored, which is why I'm going to give them a praise at this point, which is why it's nice to see things like Faction Hunt come up periodically every now and again, because Faction Hunt just it changes the meta, it changes what you need to do. You need to go, and obviously you can choose if you want to go for all three, or alternatively you can go for one or the other. It's perfectly up to you. As well as that, obviously we've had recently the other events, which we had the Apex Outlaw events, which I always find very, very good. I don't have any bad things to say about the Apex stuff. It's always pretty decent. The only one thing that I would say about this one is, if they had the reset button when it came to the mining events, if they had the reset button on the mines, then that personally for me would make that event even more enjoyable to do, just because it would make it a lot easier to do the mining instead of having to go on and off the node like I've discussed in a previous video before. Going to things like the John Harrison event, though, this is where I think they fall up short a little bit, just due to the nature of, obviously they're trying to push obviously Harrison onto people, and obviously the reason it sounds relatively straightforward. All you got to do is just gain power, and it is quite straightforward. The only problem is you're going to get a people that are obviously spend a lot more money, or potentially spend a lot more time in game, being able to complete this event and dominate it by, for example, one faction potentially, or one alliance, or people that, like I say, spend a sum of money on the game to try and help them get this event. Don't get me wrong. If that's the way that they designed it, then that's fine. However, that should be a little bit more open for everybody. I know it is technically open, but it should be a little bit more limited, in the sense of, you know, people, like I say, people are spending a lot of money just so that they can gain power. And I feel like there might be potentially a better way to do this, or potentially just give the ranks, instead of just stopping at 25, go all the way down to something like 100 or even 200. Even if you're only offering people 5 shards when it gets down to 100, it's better than nothing at all, because getting into the top 25 is insanely hard to do, especially when you're going against people that obviously spend quite a sum of money on the game. Secondly, as well, hopefully I fixed the video feed that everyone's seen on the stream. Hopefully the video is in a much better sort of position, and it's not stretched like it was on the stream, or doesn't seem stretched like it was on the stream. So hopefully that's fixed for you. Another thing that I've spoke about many of things within this game that I think could be added, but the main things are obviously all I want Scopely to do now is, to be honest, I want them to take a break from doing arcs, even if it's just for 1 month. All I want them to do is try and focus on just fixing as many bugs as they physically can fix within that month. Like I say, taking a month out is not going to hurt their pockets, and it's definitely not going to hurt anybody else within, obviously, the game, in terms of the player content within the game. And it also, not only that, it also hopefully provides them enough time to then potentially produce another arc in the foreseeable future, which no doubtably will be TOS Part 3 of some form, I would imagine. Since we've had Part 1 and 2 now, I can imagine it being Part 3. Going to them officers, as everyone knows, obviously I abstained from getting the Battle Pass last month due to the nature of me not believing in some of the stuff that they came out with, with regards to last month. So I didn't buy the Battle Pass, so I missed out on getting obviously McCoy and Sulu. Otherwise, I definitely would have unlocked them if I obviously have got the Battle Pass. So unfortunately, I can't tell you much about these characters other than obviously reading their stats. On the face of it, the stats seem okay. Obviously, we'll have to try them out once we unlock them. But on the face of it, they seem okay. They don't seem horrendously bad. They definitely seem like they'll fit into some form of enterprisey-esque type of ship, I would imagine, or explorer type of ship, something with good shields and stuff like that. I feel like they'd fit well into them sort of roles. And same with obviously Sulu as well. The only thing with Sulu's abilities is he has a 50%, 5% chance of inspiring morale for 110. I don't really like these 10 metas. I'd like that to be like 55% morale permanently, or if it was 10 based, at least put it to like maybe 2 or 3 rounds rather than just 1. I feel like that would benefit everyone a little bit more than currently. And then obviously you got I'll Protect You, which is a critical hit chance by 6% for that round, if providing the ship has morale. That secondary ability would just obviously clearly work better with Kirk, the original Kirk, not the TOS Kirk, because obviously his ability works with morale, and Kirk, the original Kirk, he obviously gets the bonus when it comes to the morale, due to obviously his abilities, his leader ability. You get this morale, and it's not permanent, but it may as well be, because it pops pretty much instantly, especially when you synergize them up a little bit. It pretty much does pop instantly. So that I feel like that ability would definitely work better with this Kirk rather than the other one, which again doesn't really make much sense, because you'd think they try and stick them together, considering the officers that they're trying to bring out with the TOS. You'd think they try and stick them together. He does have a 75% chance of inspiring morale, but it's only for this round. I don't know if that keeps popping. So yeah, at the start of each round, if the ship's health is above 30%, the starting value. That's providing your ship's above 30%. Once it drops below 30%, this ability, it becomes useless essentially. But hey ho, who knows? That might be something that's pretty decent. Who knows? What I would like to see in the future is I'd like to see them just tweak a few things with regards to the game in terms of like timings and in terms of lengths of research or buildings. I'd like to see them come down a bit, to be honest. Everything in the game, I understand it's a grind, and I understand that everything is you got to be patient and you got to do everything methodically. I do understand that because that's what type of game this is. However, I feel like they could help us out a little bit, just a little bit, and by reducing the timings on certain things. For example, I'm currently undergoing on my warehouses, and the warehouses. I mean, it takes 2 days just to do one warehouse, and that's only to get it to level 33. I've still got to do one more to get it to level 34, which again will most probably take 3.5 to 4 days to complete. I feel like that is quite a length of time to do. I think other games potentially do it a little bit better when it comes to that type of stuff. And obviously, I won't go too much into the ships. I feel like definitely something the ships this year. I'm hoping they add a substantial amount more ships and tweak this the triangle. I really don't think the triangle's needed anymore when it comes to ships. I feel like the ships should have their own abilities rather than because they have abilities, which is like, for example, the Saladins is this ability, which, to be honest, for a ship like the Saladin, absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. Um, it really doesn't make any sense at all. And obviously the same, the all 30 or 28 level ships get these abilities as well. They don't make any sense for these types of ships, and I would like to see personal abilities for the ships. For example, like the miners all have personal abilities in terms of they can mine specific types of nodes or resources, and they do better at mining that specific resources. That makes perfect sense. Whereas the combat ships, their abilities don't really make any sense. Like a Saladin, if it is an interceptor, then its a special ability should be to when versing battleships, increase firepower or increase maneuverability or increase dodge, or potentially when versing battleships, reduce the battleship's shields by 20%, 25%, or something like that, or increase critical hit chance by 10%, or something on the lines of that. Because at the end of the day, that's what this ship is designed to do. It's designed to take out battleships. It is an interceptor. It's designed to take out battleships, and the same goes for the other classes as well. Instead of having generic abilities across all of them, they should have their own specific abilities. Like the Saladin would do really well, for example, if it came to when versing another ship or battleship in this case, increase critical hit chance by 10%, because that would obviously benefit this ship even more when it comes to firing its big gun, because the big gun obviously hits ridiculously hard. So that would obviously benefit this ship, but then other ships would obviously have counters to that as well. So like you could have explorers or survey ships that have abilities like when there's interceptors, they gain, I don't know, something, they decrease the interceptor's dodge by 50% or something ridiculous, just to make it a bit more standout, make it a bit more generic when it comes to the game. Instead of, like I say, instead of just having just the same abilities across all of them, like frontline fighting, this is a good one if you're just doing PvE. However, when it comes to doing PvP, it is not that good. Due to the nature of it saying hostiles right there. They could actually tweak this to make this pretty good for both PvP and PvE. All they would need to do is when fighting, get rid of the hostile bit and just put when fighting, the USS Intrepid increases its armor, shield, deflection, and dodge by whatever percentage. And that would turn this ship into actually a viable ship to use. Especially when it comes to PvP fighting. Just get rid of that hostile tag and make it for any type of ship, whether it be PvP or whether it be PvE. And I think that's something that they could add to the game. I'm not going to say easily, because obviously they'd have to think of the balance of the ships. However, that is something that they could definitely add to the game that wouldn't ruin their triangle situation so much. but it would add ship special abilities that help that specific ship, because not all ships are the same. As we know, they have different weapon arrays, they have different fire rates, they have different sort of configurations within them, and I feel like having their own identity would make the ships a little bit more enjoyable to play when it comes to PvP and PvE types of gameplay. And obviously it would make people think really hard when it came to the certain levels of ships, what ships to go for, because obviously they might be missing out on a certain ability from one ship that they like or they don't like potentially, and going forward they might then choose to go for the level 26 and the 32 ships, because at the moment a lot of people are choosing to skip the 26 and the 32 ships due to the nature of them being completely useless within the game, and they're going from 28 straight up to 34. So that would fix that void, and I would also obviously like to see a lot more ships come in the future from different classes. I have done a video on this before, so please do go check that video out. It is on Ship Talks number 1 and number 2. So if you haven't checked out the Ship Talks videos, then go check them out, and I do talk about a lot of that type of stuff within there. I hope this video's been informative. I hope you like my take on the current state of the game and where I feel like it should head in the future. Like I say, this is not a slag fest. I'm not slagging them off whatsoever. This is just my opinion and what I think is good in the game right now, and what I think could definitely change for the better in the future. Who knows what will happen, obviously, over this next however many months we've got left in this year, 9 months in the year. And we'll hopefully this year of 2021, hopefully this will be a good year for this game and good year for the channel and stuff. So if you'd like this type of content, please do hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, because they are the 2 main ways that you can support the channel more than anything. If you want to financially support, then there's a PayPal link, or there is alternatively Patreon, which is the best form of financial support you could give to the channel. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.